So today I want to talk about the story of David and Goliath. And you can find it in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17. We're going to look at verses 17 to 51. David gets a job from his dad. And his dad tells him, listen, your brothers are fighting against the Philistines. I want you to take some oats and some cheese to the front lines to give to the guys. And so David does this. David, he's tending sheep. He leaves his sheep, gathers up the things he needs, and takes them to the front lines. And when he gets there, the two armies are beginning to kind of square off against one another. And as they're facing each other, the Philistines send out their champion, the strongest, biggest, baddest dude they have. This dude named Goliath. Goliath is 9 feet tall. He is so scary that it says that when he comes out, that the Israelites run away in fear. They're so afraid of him. And so when he comes out, he hurls all these insults. He talks down to God. He says all these awful, awful things. And David hears this. And David gets really fired up about this. And he's like, well, you're not going to do anything about this? You're not going to go and face this guy who dares talk bad about our God? You're really going to just let him do this? And they're like, I guess so. And so he's like, I'm going to go take him down. And the king of the Israelites, this guy named Saul, gives David his own armor. He gives him his own sword. And it doesn't fit because David's just a boy. David's barely a teenager. And so David takes off this armor and he lays this sword down and he picks up 5 stones from the river and a sling and says, this is all I need. And he goes out to confront Goliath and he twirls it and he throws it and hits it. And it says the stone sinks into his forehead. And so with that, the lowly little David kills Goliath, has the courage to take down this giant that no one else had the courage to do. And I think one of the things that we can take away from this are a couple things. First, David didn't start his day thinking, I'm going to do something extraordinary today. He had a menial task. He had a regular chore to go take food to his brothers who were fighting. That's all he had to do. And yet when he got there, God decided to use him in the most extraordinary way. And I think sometimes we have to be obedient to that we got to let God work on his time and not our time. Okay? The other thing that I notice about this story is that when David faced Goliath, he didn't face him with anything man-made. Because he was given armor, he was given a sword, and yet he didn't use those things. He took rocks from the river that had been there since the creation of time, something that God himself had formed. He took what God gave him and used it to take down Goliath. And a lot of times I think we rely too much on man-made things when all we really need is what God provides for us. And so be encouraged by that. Be encouraged that we don't sometimes need all the stuff we think we need. We just need what God gives us. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Thrive 146. I'm Matt, and look who I have. I have Cooper joining me today, and really excited because today is devotional day. And today we're going to talk about the story of Goliath. And if you want to read the story of Goliath, it is in 1 Samuel 17, then verses 17 to 51. You know all about Samuel or Goliath and David and Goliath, right?
Yeah.
Right, of course he does. So we're going to talk about that today. Some of the things about David and Goliath. First of all, Goliath was over 9 feet tall. Can you imagine? Someone 9 feet tall?
That's pretty tall.
That's crazy tall. How many of us do you think it would take to stand on each other's shoulders to be 9 feet tall?
So probably about like 2 grown men.
You think so?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
That's pretty tall.
That's really tall. That's really tall. It also, one of the things we take away from it is that Goliath's armor weighed about 125 pounds. Which, how much do you weigh?
I weigh around 100.
About 100 pounds. So his armor by itself weighs more than you. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Imagine facing Goliath in a battle. What would you take with you?
I don't really know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Would you take like something more powerful than like rocks in a sling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So like probably some kind of at least sword
Yeah.
or like a gun or something.
At least some armor.
Something, right? But David was just a boy. I mean, he was probably not much older than you are, and he went to go face Goliath. Now, why do you think David had so much courage to face Goliath?
Because of God.
Because of his reliance on God to give him the courage to go and fight Goliath, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you have done if you were David? Would you have gone and faced Goliath?
No.
Why not?
Because it's scary. Because if he's that big and I'm just a little boy, like...
Do you think there's things in your life that you face that are scary?
Yeah.
Like what?
COVID-19.
Sure.
That's
I mean,
scary.
what we're going through right now is scary. Absolutely. I mean, it is scary because we don't know when we can get out of our houses. We don't know when this whole thing is going to be over. Sure, it's scary. I mean, you guys are out of school for a long time, right?
Until May 1st.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a scary time right now. And so what can you do to have courage and get through this?
Pray.
Exactly. You can go to God. There's a sign right next to you. What's it say?
If you are praying about it, God is working on it.
Exactly. So go to God. Go to God in prayer and go to Him and He'll give you strength. He'll give you comfort. He'll give you peace. He'll give you all this stuff. And I think that's one of the things that we need to thank God for is that He is always with us, that He will never leave us, that He is always with us, and we don't ever have to really be afraid. We can lean on Him for courage and peace and comfort. All right, so our verse this week is John 14:6. Do you know John 14:6?
Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
All right, there you go. John 14:6. If you want to try and memorize that this week, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, we are done. Have a great day. God bless.